Dude, what's going on, people? It's your man, the White Bee. Once again, big shout out to my dog, Martin Skirsis, for coming through and boosting up the coins. So, his turbulency, he cut the YB and the masses. That's what he did. The mighty unwashed got cucked once again. I did a video, I think, a day or two now. Ew. Eubank versus Hen. Eubank Jr. versus Hen. Ain't happening. Oops. This cat turkey, man, he plugged in. Let's call it spare. He plugged in, man. He plugged in. He playing with the YB right now. Anyway, it's back on now. Yeah, here's the post leaked. It says the following. The Ring magazine has learned seller completed the deal for the highly anticipated Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn rematch on November 15th in Tottenham Stadium. The event will be presented as the Ring Unfinished Business. The event will be promoted by Seller and sponsored by Riyadh and Ring magazine. Now, we got an article here. I'm going to be honest, there's no really point talking about it. It's November 15th. So what, best part of, it must be about 14, 15 weeks away. The one bit of news we want to know, though, is the truth. Yeah? These Ring magazine cats, yeah? I don't know how they're not plugged in directly with Turkey. The reason I say that is, at the bottom of this article, the only juicy bit that's worth knowing, we don't know, okay? They put this statement at the bottom. It's unclear if their rematch will once again take place at £160, but it's believed that the weight terms will remain the same. Like, come on, pick the blower up to Turkey, man. Hey, Turkey, woo, right? That's what you do if you're plugged in with his turbulency. What's the point having a Ring magazine thing if you ain't giving us the plays, right? What's the point doing that? Oh, we don't really know. Who know then? If Turkey's outfit don't know, who know? Come on. But that is, all jokes aside, that is what we need to know. But I assume, like they've listen, I'm assuming I'm unwashed, right? So it's no point me really sitting and saying, well, I assume it's the same. I would assume it's the same, yeah? Unwashed. You man plugged in, unwashed. I'm supposed to be the one saying, I think it's this, I think it's that. You should be telling us, right? That's what you should be doing. So listen, man, tighten up. If I was at the Ring magazine, yeah, click, right? That's what I'll be doing, picking the blower up. What's wrong with these? A lot of these new age men, yeah. And I was like this when I was 13. I didn't even want to call the Chinese. Right? Mum, can you call the Chinese for me? Right? Whoever running this Ring magazine, you grow, man. Yeah? Pick the beep, 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 beep. Ooh. Yeah? Give Turkey the woo, 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 whoopty woo. On the blower. Come on. That's the juicy part. Now, I assume it is 160, obviously. I don't see Hen going out of his way to put on Eubank Jr. He signed it. And listen, it's not a case of Eubank Jr. being worried about it. He gonna do it anyway. It's whether it's smart to do. Do you know what I'm saying? He looked sick in there. Maybe he knows something we don't know. Ben Shalong, after the first fight, he said, yeah, there was things going on in the camp. So, I mean, at the time I speculated, his legs looked like David Hayes. Was there an Achilles thing? Chris Eubank Sr. immediately after the fight, he said, yeah, Chris Jr., he couldn't use his legs, so he switched it up. Yeah, and gave Conor Benn the old school on your ass. Yeah, 1970s yardie. That's what he did to Conor Benn. Private school, come on man, Conor, man. You ain't had no old school yardie belt to ask, man. You wouldn't know about that. And Chris Jr., he put that on that. That's what he did. He put that on that. Yeah, that's what he did. No doubt about that. Was it his Achilles? Was it his dehydration? Hopefully it was the Achilles, and that's why Eubank wanted some more time for it to heal. Although them kind of injuries, because you're always on your feet, they can take a little while. What? November's not even that long. They fought at the end of April. Yeah? So that's May, June, July, August, September, October. It's only 6 months. That's a traditional 6.5 months. That's a traditional turnaround. It's not really an injury turnaround. Either way, I just wish Chris the best. Yeah, people say, well, listen, Conor Benn's alright. I think he'll do it right. 147's looking washed right now, so he'll. I got no reason he wouldn't beat Barrios, for example. And looking at the odds, I'd have him as a favourite. Quite a big favourite as well. Barrios is no good. Proper useless. He went life and death with 70-year-old Manny Pacquiao. Here, Turman. Pacquiao called his dog Turman. I swear down. After Pacquiao punched up Keith once upon a hairline. Yeah. Pacquiao. I swear down, there's a video of it. Yeah. Once Pacquiao punched up Keith once upon a hairline. Yeah. There's a video of Pacquiao with his dog. And he goes, some cat says to him, "Hey Pacquiao, what's your dog's name?" Is it here, Turman? That's a violation, man. Anyway, should Eubank... Listen, Eubank's going to do it now. Unless it comes out, there's no rehydration clause now, but Eggy Hearn has it down pat. I don't know what Eubank's team were doing, but we know he was associated with Ben Shalom. Ben Shalom, he's not on it, man. He don't know what he's doing. That's the truth, man. I don't know where he came from, because them man are normally on point when it comes to contracts. Yeah? Before seeing how Ben Shalom gets down, I'd have said he's going to be the most... Yeah, he's going to be on these man's ass. Turns out he messy with it. He new age. He the new age, Shekel. He no good with them contracts, bro. It's 10 rounds or is it 12? He don't know what's going on. We can't count to 12. How hard is it to count to 12, man? You ain't even got to go to school to count to 12, bro. Yeah, he's sending one for 5. What's that? Oh, we're doing a 5-rounder. Yeah, you don't know what's going on, man. Forget about Ben Shalom. But the point is, what's Eubank's manager's name as well? I forgot his name now. Some cotton picker. So you got Ben Shalom and you got a cotton picker, man. Them two cats didn't really know what was going on. Because after the fight, dude, Eubank's manager, he was saying, we're going to have to look at the contract and see if we can get... I think, bro, it don't work like that. It just don't work like that. Now, it's possible Eubank kind of absolving Eubank's manager and Ben Shalom from their potential responsibility. It could be the fact Eubank, which I can see it anyway. It could be the manager, it could be Ben Shalom, or it could be Eubank. But it's possible Eubank to say, no, I'll do it. I'll fight him at 160 with a rehydration clause and whatever else. So who knows? End of the day, I guess you have to ultimately hold Eubank Jr. responsible. We had a video come out today saying that... I'll play it quickly since we're kind of on the topic.
Boxing is most going on. I want to know where all the money's coming from, because if you don't know, people take. And that money should be going to you. You are the guy getting in the ring. It all comes with experience. Boxing is most definitely a business. And it's important that you have people that are looking out for your best interests when it comes to the business side, because it's a ruthless sport. In the ring and just as much outside of the ring, people are trying to make a quick buck off of you at each and every step, each and every opportunity they can. Promoters, managers, teammates. You have to have everybody in line, and you have to have a team around you that you trust and that can support you. And you have to know what is a good deal and what isn't. And you have to know how to read a contract. You have to have a lawyer, an accountant, and everything else that comes with that, which a lot...
Just quickly on a side mission, yeah, I never got that. I've never made no money though, so maybe it's one of them. But if I don't know what you need a lawyer for. I can read. Do you know what I'm saying? I can read, bro. Simple as that. I never got this whole lawyers thing. Accountant's a bit different because it's like, who wants to be sitting there? But the thing about accountants is, ask Big Wesley. Ask Wesley Snipes how he got on. It don't even matter. You might as well do it yourself and get it wrong, because you're fixing to go to jail anyway. You can't hold them. Them man don't take no responsibility, right? They've been doing that. Yeah, all them man, no responsibility at all. If they bungle your books, yeah, it's on you. End of the day. So, I guess for organisational purposes, if you're a big fighter and you've made loads of money, do you want to be the one chasing people for your coins here and there? Probably not. But still, as far as the contract goes, I'm reading that thing. I don't need no lawyer. Lawyer for what? What's he going to do? Tell me what I think about what's stipulated? Unlikely, right? And it seems... I'll play the rest of the clip, actually.
Our fighters don't. And I didn't at the beginning of my career. You know, I just saw a number and I was like, yeah, that's a good number. I'll fight for that. Now, no. Now I want to know every single angle. I want to know everything that's going on. I want to know where all the money's coming from. Because if you don't know, people take. And that money should be going to you. You are the guy getting in the ring. It all comes with experience.
All right then, so that's Eubank Jr. So listen, it's possible Eubank and his team thought the initial terms were fair. They've then gone in there and gone life and death with his legs falling off and thought, is it reasonable to assume, well, he'd done 160 though. I'm not sure he'd done 160 with a rehydration clause, although he had, I believe. I believe when he fought Skarametsky, that might have been for some IBF Moody belt, and apparently that had some sort of rehydration clause. I don't know. Yeah? And either way, if that was the case, even to be fair though, he's fighting a 147 pounder. Right? He's fighting a 147 pounder, so Conor Benn, in his defence, he would need some benefits. That makes sense. If we just called it a straight up 160 fight, where's Conor Benn's benefit? Oh, he's got the magical eggs. But without no magical eggs, allegedly, yeah, it's kind of balanced to some extent, and the fight did look balanced. I just don't want to see Conor Benn get a W. I'd hate that. I really would hate that. I don't know why I would. I don't know. Conor rubs me the wrong way, but he's getting there with a bigger man. Yeah, so maybe listen. Chris signed it. If Chris hadn't signed it, I'd have been happy with that too. But since he signed it, on this channel we've talked before about when you sign something, man, that's just what it is. That's your ass. If that's the way it goes. And I still think, let's have a look where the bookies are at right quick. Eubank Jr. versus Benn 2 odds checker. Let's see how much money we got. No, I'm not going to bet on this, to be fair. I'm not going to bet on this one. The first fight, I think I put a 1-0 on Eubank Jr., but the way he was looking, man, another 6 months, 7 months of age. Conor Benn, he's younger, he could get better. That's the truth. Yeah? Listen, if Eubank rang me and said, yeah, my Achilles was shot. And even then, look at Big Toe, hey. Once your legs are shot, man, how many fighters? And bear in mind, the circumstances here haven't changed. It's not like, oh, it's at 168. Oh, there's no rehydration clause. We've basically got the same circumstances, plus another 6 months of age. So if your legs blew out 6 months ago, what's to tell us that they're gonna? What fighters found his legs again is the point I'm making. Yeah. Meanwhile, Conor Benn, he can make some improvements, being younger. If he wasn't hopping around so much, or maybe Eubank would have jabbed his head off more. But so you get the point. But Conor Benn was really poor. Eubank was poor towards the end. That's because his legs went though. See what I'm trying to say? There's nothing telling us his legs are going to come back next time. You know what I mean? So it's one of them. But and surprisingly, Eubank Jr. is the big favourite here. And I want him to win, to be fair. I do want him to win. But logically speaking, that's probably good for him anyway, to be fair. I'm probably doing the best thing. I should probably put money on Conor Benn. In fact, I might do that. Yeah? Because he'll definitely win then. In fact, I'm fixing to do that. The odds are pretty good here. 2-1 for Conor Benn. And that means he ain't winning. Sure for sure. I don't like Eubank at 1.57, so you put 100 down, you win 75. You put 100 down, you win £57 profit. So Eubank's a fair, decent favourite here. I don't know. You know what I mean? If Conor Benn's a little bit slicker, and Eubank's a little bit more shot, which might be reasonable to assume, if it's fair to say that first fight took a lot out of him for whatever reason, having to go there again 6 months later. From the public information I've got, there's not much signalling to me. I had Eubank winning. Let's say it was an 8-4 fight. Yeah? You see what I'm trying to say? 8-4 fight. Well, that means Conor Benn's only got to win 2 more rounds and it's a draw. Right? Eubank's legs might fall off. It's well documented when you go through hard fights. Not that he was getting hit a bunch, but just grueling fights. They don't... Unless you're 27 and you kind of level up from it. Once you're 36 going through a grueling fight, you don't tend to look fresher the next time. You tend to get even worse. Yeah? But that's just my thoughts. So I'll put some bread on Conor Benn. Not a lot of bread, probably put $30 on. I'll put $30 to win what? It's only 2-1 though, isn't it? $30 down, you win 60 quid profit. I might do something like that. Again, let's see I want to value the integrity of the YB curse here. Although that might be the smart thing to do. That might be what happens anyway, right? Eubank might have won anyway. If I knew Eubank had 12 rounds of gas, there'd be no doubt in my mind. Because what's Benn will do nothing. He'd do nothing at all. It's whether he's shot to bits after 3 or 4 rounds. That's when it's going to go. And we've seen it. We've just seen it happen. It's not like you were speculating. Like before the first fight, there was no evidence Eubank was going to be shot to bits after 6, 7. I think it was probably the 8th round, to be fair. You know what I mean? It's just one of them ones. After the fight, you could reasonably say, or after the rematch, you could say, well, yeah, obviously Eubank's legs were going to be gone. They were gone the first time. I think that's possibly what's being mispriced here. But what do I know? Not a lot. Anyway, Conor Benn's come out. And I actually think, speaking logically here, Eubank has been through all of the kind of George Groves, James DeGale. This was Conor Benn's first fight like that. I think he had a lot of nervous energy. He doesn't really know, or he certainly didn't know. He had a lot of bravado, but he couldn't honestly say how good he was. Now he's been in there with Eubank, and it was competitive for whatever reason. That confidence, that could work well for him. He might not be hopping around and burning a bunch of energy. It may translate into Eubank boxing him up even more easily. On the flip side, it might translate to a better performance for Conor Benn, right? Eubank, what positives can we take, really? I'm trying to think. Forecasting into the future from the first fight, what can I look at from that first fight and say Eubank can get better from? His legs might not fall off this time. Based on what, though? Yeah? That's what I'm saying. I can't really convince myself that Eubank's legs ain't going to go dodgy again. Can you bet on someone? Eubank, I think, ended 11th or 10th. The bell went, and he kind of just flopped. I thought, and it was listen, fair play to Eubank. It's a gritty performance here. But still, I remember sitting there thinking, no. You have to remember that. I was sitting there in the last few rounds thinking, oh no. Thinking, if Conor Benn's any good here, this could get ugly. That's how I felt at the time. So, that's got to be a real thought. I thought, oh no, that's not good. So if you're thinking that now, going into the rematch, or you were thinking at the end of the first fight, going into the rematch, a lot of uncertainty here. And I think this fight, on paper, will be even more competitive than the first fight, based on the metrics we have. Let's see how old Chris Eubank Jr. is. Age. He's only 35. He'll be 36 by the time the fight happens. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Age is literally just a number. If you look... Listen, people. Before the fight, before the first fight, we were saying, Eubank never gasses. He gets stronger at the end. He was pressing George Groves at the end. Yes, George Groves had a bungled arm, but that's Eubank's go-to. He's that guy who is at the very least consistent through 12. Seeing him... it was not good to watch, right? That is often the sign. In fact, his dad said, and whatever you think about Senior, Dad said, I don't want to see that fat again. Now, again, whatever you say about Senior, he knows boxing. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what we observed there. It was almost like the traditional, his legs are shot. Now you can argue, yeah, but he was dehydrated. He was, but he gonna be dehydrated again. Unless the terms come out that it's no rehydration clause, which is possible. I doubt it, though. I really do doubt that. Anyway, we got some quotes from... Where is Conor Benn at, man? Come on, Conor Benn. Here he is. Reacting to this fight being announced. So we'll play that right now for the masses.
Looked like the rematch is off for September. I know yesterday they talked about potential November date. How have you seen this week and it's developed with your rematch, Chris Eubank?
Yeah, listen, I know we were scheduled for September 20th and we was ready for September 20th. We've had,
Oh, this is 2 weeks old, man. Apologies, that's dead. The Ring Magazine has put this, they linked this Moody video just weeks old. What are you playing at, man? Come on. You, man, ain't getting plugged in with Turkey. You're reposting Moody links from weeks ago, but we do have some quotes here from from Conor Benn. It says here, I was ready in September, but I'll be even more ready in November. See you soon. #redemption. It'll be a good one. That's what we can guarantee. Which is somewhat unfortunate. I think Eubank hydrated. It's not a... Like I said, the first fight, it wasn't supposed to be close. That's what makes me a bit like, oh, a little bit of an ick. It's not supposed to be close. It's close. It'll be good because his legs have gone. You understand? That's the only reason. I hope Eubank knows something we don't. I hope he's not just... Listen, he might go in there, travel to Valhalla and win. And that'll be more power to him, right? But if he don't win, it'll be because he's shot to bits. But there's been loads of shot to bits fighters through history who've lost before. Not by a 147-pound Essex wide boy, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. But you listen, man. Eubank G, he loved them coins. Yeah? He loved the casinos, right? He make money, he casino money. That's nuts, man. That's a crazy pipeline. You see how them ones always win, the Voldemort dons. They stay winning, man. Oh, yeah, Chris, I'll pay you 10 large, schmillions. Guess where that going back to? The Mirage, Las Vegas. It's a big cycle, man. You can never win in this game. Yeah, the Babylonians, they stay in your pockets. That's what you can guarantee, man. Yeah? But yeah, listen. Like I said, to be fair to Conor Benn, he's coming up 2 weights. So if he jumped up 2 weights. Oh no, he did have a tester at 152ish, I think, or 150. But that is... He's never fought someone like Eubank, so you do have to give Henn credit here. He's never been anywhere close to someone like Eubank. And he stepped up 2 weights to do so. So, yes, he was off the eggs. Yes, he was consuming an insatiable amount of Waitrose finest eggs that he got personally from Dr. Al-Shabaab. Yeah? But assuming he's clean now, allegedly, you have to give him credit for that. How many guys are jumping up 2 weights these days and taking on someone who is their best? It's not even close. Eubank is like, I'd say he's a B+ fighter. The best Conor Benn's fought a D-. Algieri washed to bits. Van Herden washed to bits. Those were his best names to that point. So yeah. And we do talk about on this channel the old dogs passing the torch. Now, if Eubank's good enough to box him up, that's my preference. But if he's not, it's part of the cycle of life. Yeah, the young 28-year-old has a go on the old man whose legs look compromised. And that is the way. That is the better way to go. It's better to go that way. Yeah, and to some extent, Lennox, when he beat Vitali, he avoided that fate potentially. I don't know. Maybe Lennox would have punched him up, right? But I prefer that one, honestly. And people can look back on history and say, oh, he got defeated. I don't mind people losing, man. Yeah. It's part of the cycle of life. No one can be on forever unless you're corny like Floyd Mayweather, who duck everyone. He fought a bunch of old men, and then he fought a bunch of bums. That's corny, man. I prefer people who, yeah, they travel to their maker when their time's called. No doubt about it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, folks. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Johnny.